So, Sergeant Major Chaim Mailspin, I'm coming at you. I'm all right. I've been doing lots of intense missions here in the south. And, tens of thousands of Israelis marched in Sderot calling for the government to resettle the Gaza Strip, which Israel unilaterally withdrew from in 2005. That's when I went in the army. And marchers, they drew support from all kinds of local residents, and the march and the rally, it drew all kinds of diverse crowd, not just religious, but families who lost loved ones, and his relatives of Israelis who have, some of the relatives are captive in the tunnels of darkness and despair of the Hamas. Government ministers even joined that, parliament members. What do you think about all this? Rabbis, other people, notable figures, and it was organized by a let's call it settler movement, Nahala. Mainstream media outlets would either ignore this usually or condemn it maybe, and saying resettling. Remember, there was 21 cities, right, in Gaza. And then, of course, like the Gush Katif and all kinds of these. And so they'd say that's such a bad thing and such a wrong thing. And historically, Jewish people do have deep roots, right, in Gaza, dating back thousands of years. There's synagogues there. There's Hebrew in the ground. It's even mentioned as part of the Promised Land in the Bible, Book of Joshua. And when Israel controlled it prior to 2005, we faced a lot less of a security threat from the territory compared to the rocket attacks and everything that happened after 2005. As soon as Hamas came into power, voted into power in 2006, it just got wild and crazy. And then you have intifadas, and you have all this stuff, violence, and my own family members almost were killed in the intifada. I can't believe people are calling for an intifada in the free world. Shameful. But there's supporters who argue that Israeli withdrawal and Hamas's takeover, like when we totally left, that's Ariel Sharon. You remember then he went into a coma, and that Hamas actually hurt the Palestinian people, hurt their life. Their takeover, they're throwing people off buildings. They just imposed these draconian laws. They made life very, very hard. Of course, there's human rights abuses. They take all the money. It's like a big mafia area that the Hamas is running, right? And there's a religious element, a radical Islamic ideology saying that they have to control everything and control all the land. There's no free speech. There's no freedom of press, freedom to gather. I remember the one time when they came to power, I remember they took a groom and a bride. They took the groom and dragged him behind a motorcycle until he was dead because they said, we're supposed to be sad. We're supposed to be angry. We're not supposed to be getting married and celebrating. And he wanted to celebrate. And so that's a Palestinian. So they're hurting the Palestinian. And imagine, they also say they have to do these extremist attacks, even failed attacks like the recent one on October 7th. They attacked, and it seemed like a victory. We pushed them back. So it's a failed. They didn't take over all of Israel. But imagine how many attacks they tried to do or planned to do that were thwarted. Imagine how many. You see all the tunnels, thousands of tunnels. And some of those are going into Israel. And they wanted to really, really, really just murder and massacre for many, many years, the last, 18 years. And October 7th was the biggest. But so imagine resettling what these guys were talking about, resettling parts of Gaza. In this view, it would show that support for Hamas comes at a very, very steep price. You lose land lost and autonomy lost. It could really deter future attacks and radicalization. When you're there, you can kind of supervise what's going on. And so some people are saying that being in parts of Gaza is like a way to keep the brutality of the Palestinian militants down, including all these attacks targeting families, targeting children. It would be a way to keep security, some people are saying. So for these Israelis that marched, they were saying, not just military action, not just what I'm doing now, but actually settling the promised land is actually something to actually think about, so that October 7th doesn't happen again and again. And in the Middle East, you can't win just a little bit. That's just not how it works. You win just a little bit. Like, we've been doing the tit for tat. They struck us, we struck them back. I was in the army in many missions in Gaza, and in the north. I fought the Second Lebanon War. But there's many missions in Gaza, but it can't be just, cast lead, protective edge, shomer chomot, guardian on the walls. No, you have to have a decisive full victory. It has to show consequences on the side of Hamas that it's going to be for the next 50 years to understand. It's hard for people in the West to get this, I know. They don't get this. They don't understand the language of the Middle East. They don't understand the cultures here. For too long, Israel has been expected to speak Western the way it is. And I sometimes would jokingly, I remember years back, I'd say, when they say, we will from the river to the sea, we will, destroy all of Israel. That's where Israel exists, is from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. So when they say that, we're like, well, that's not what the Western people say. That's not what they really mean. They just mean they want to have some more Starbucks. They want better Starbucks options, but that's not what they're saying, though. They're saying they want to wipe all of Israel off the map. So we got to not speak speak Western. We've spoke Western for many, many years, okay? We've obeyed. And we said, what if we just get out of Gaza? They'll be happy. No, we got everyone out of Gaza 2005, and they weren't happy, okay? But we realize that in order to survive, we need to speak the language of the Middle East, the language of this place. America, in many ways, the UN, it's almost like a parent that says to their child, if you run into a bully, just make sure you just reconcile with him, just be nice to him, and everything will be fine. Well, we've tried that. You know how much infrastructure we gave when we left? Oh, so much. Millions and millions and millions worth of infrastructure and everything. They just blew it all up. I believe 76 years, Israel, we're thinking because it's 76th year birthday of Israel. 76 years young, over 3,000 years old, filled with scars from battles and pain, but yet it's really technically our 77th year of existence as a sovereign nation here. And isn't it time that we tell the world, and we say, sorry, Mom, sorry, Dad, we will handle the school bully in the way that bullies understand. We will deal with this situation because we understand the schoolyard. So that's what I'm saying. Now, Psalm 16, keep me safe, O God, for in you I have found shelter. We're running to bomb shelters, and people are running to bomb shelters for so long. I say to Adonai, you are my Lord. I have no good apart from you. As for the Kedushim who are in the land, the holy ones in the land, they are noble. In them is all my delight. As for those who run after another God, may their sorrows multiply. I will not pour out their drink offerings of blood, nor will their names be upon my lips. That's like the Hamas, Their name will not be named anymore in this land. Adonai is my portion and my cup. You cast my lot. My boundary lines fall in pleasant places. My heritage surely is beautiful. I will bless Adonai who counsels me. Even at night, my heart instructs me. I have set Adonai always before me. Since he is at my right hand, I will not be shaken. So my heart is glad and my soul rejoices. My body also rests secure. You will not abandon my soul in Sheol, nor let your faithful one see the pit. You have made known to me the paths of life, of Chaim. Abundance of joys are in your presence. Eternal pleasures are at your right hand. As we continue this, we're going deeper and deeper into Rafah, and so glad to hear. It sounds like Biden will send more aid after all. And much needed right now. We'll send more military aid, to reinforce our weaponry, our defense mechanisms, and so we're striking hard, and we will complete this. Remember, the Omer, we're counting up till Pentecost. That is how many days? 7 sevens. That's right, 7 sevens. We're counting up to Pentecost, and that's 49. And then on the 50th day is a big day at the end. Let's count it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us and commanded us concerning the Omer count. Hayom yom 22 l'sfirat ha'omer. Today is 22 days in the Omer count.